Hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast for PluginIndia. I, Amit, your host for the same, and today we have among us not so simple person, the founder of Simple Energy, Mr. Suhas Rajkumar. Suhas, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you for inviting me.
Suhas, so let's start. On 15th August 21, Simple One bookings were opened with a amount of 1947 and deliveries were promised for few months. The timelines have changed multiple times as we stand today. From the latest expectations, we understand the deliveries should start from quarter one of 23, and we are in the last month of the quarter. So, two questions: is the product still in R&D phase, or is it production ready as of today? And are we going to meet the committed timelines this time? When do we expect the deliveries to begin?
Hello everyone. Thank you, Amit, for your invitation. Always fun chatting with community and answering their questions. Starting with our delivery timelines, yes, we have definitely gotten over our bottlenecks. So the product itself is not in R&D phase. It's in a pre-production trial phase where we inaugurated our factory on Jan 19 this year, and that was a wonderful event for us, a big milestone for a startup like ours, and that definitely speaks for India's story. Moving forward on that question again, we are looking at a couple of weeks from now to start our deliveries while we're in the last leg of approvals from the RTO, etc. So once we are done with that, I think we are good to go, and you can expect a lot of noise from Simple Energy in a couple of weeks now.
Sure. So you talked about you are already in the pre-production phase. Could you just
Pre-production
tell
trials.
pre-production trials? Sorry.
Or
Yeah.
you can just say production trials, I would say rather.
Okay. Sure.
Just because a lot of people would not know what exactly happens there. So production trials are pre-batches where we just check the fit and finish and final recalls or final calls on how the product is coming on our lines. So that's called a production trial that we are running right now. Since last 2 months, 1.5 months, we have been doing that.
Sure. So has coming to the product, we understand there are two battery packs. One is a fixed one, one is a removable. So there is a lot of noise in the community that says that to use the complete 4.8 kilowatts of the battery, ideally will require two chargers. One near the place where the our two-wheeler would be parked, so that we can charge the fixed one, and one maybe at a home where the removable battery would be charged. So we are expecting some kind of confusions or some user experience challenges. So what's the philosophy behind the two battery design, and how do you plan to address the user experience with such a design?
So to answer the first question, that is, how do we plan to deploy the charging infra for public or at home? Sorry, at home. So what we are trying to do is we will give you a portable charger where you'll have a junction which is a portable one which you can attach to your portable charger, which is a 750-watt charger which you get with a scooter. You can charge your portable battery at home because you have a docking unit where you can just dock and you just have to connect two chargers together that comes with the scooter. And the fixed battery pack, you can charge it at any 15 amp socket with the same same 750-watt charger. So that solves the entire issue of using double chargers. No, we don't give two chargers. We give a single charger with a portable connector so that you can take it home and charge it as well. The philosophy behind using two battery packs are very clear. See, we are a performance-oriented company, and we wanted to get the best out of an EV, right? Making a slow-moving vehicle, not really, gives a lot of confidence to a consumer because end of the day, reliability, quality, etc., is not established, and there's no core engineering required for it. So the kind of scooter that we make are very performance-oriented, and to certain kind of limitations, we cannot go 100% portable for the performance that we promise. So that is one aspect of engineering that we had to compromise on. Second, a lot of people today don't want to carry multiple portable battery packs, right? You want to have a performance, you want to have long range, etc. So it's a combination of that. And say you completely use a fixed battery pack and you're stranded somewhere and you don't find a charger, right? And or you don't find a public infra as well, and you cannot push your scooter. So you can just plug out the portable battery pack, which can give you roughly around 60 kilometers of range. You can just go to a nearest store or anywhere, just walk in with that, portable battery pack, charge it up, just put it back in your scooter, and you're good to go for 60 kilometers, and you'll reach your home safely. So it's purely for that mindset, because today charging infra is not that established. At the same time, people want a backup. So portable acts as an extender of your range, plus it acts as an emergency use case as well, where you can just remove it easily, carry it easily, plug it anywhere you want with that portable charger that you have, 750 watts, which is not really heavy, and just come back to the scooter, because you don't want limp mode, or you don't want any other mode to activate and start pushing the scooter, because that's physically tiring, right? So that was the idea behind. So it's purely a backup option that also can be used as. Third point is it's to get the scooters quicker, right? We can definitely pack a big battery pack. It will not look like a scooter; it'll look like a big vehicle, which you will not really love when you're using. So that was the point that our limitations were too much. So we had to split the battery packs, and that's how we arrived at this combination of two battery packs.
Yeah, that's an interesting solution. So that in case one gets stuck because of lack of chargers on the road, rather than pushing the whole vehicle or trying to find the chargers and moving, just take the portable one and your charger and charge it. At the same time, you will still have some battery which is fixed for the long range and the performance. So
Yep.
we talked about the public charging. We understand that Simple Energy would also have a charging network called Loop Network. So, with your deliveries expected soon, uh, as an early adopter, how many chargers and where do we expect to see these Loop Network chargers?
So we have identified around 20 charging points across Bangalore currently. So we'll start deploying stage-wise. So we expect to ramp it up in next six to 8 months. I think there are 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters. So that's our plan currently. And I think in a couple of weeks, post our deliveries itself, we'll find a lot of chargers coming up across cafes, malls, and some IT parks that we have tied up with currently.
Any tentative figures for beyond Bangalore bookings?
So currently, we have a stage-wise delivery plan as well. So while we are trying to ramp up our production and meet the demand, but on the charging infra, we are looking at going step by step, because there are limitations on availability of real estate, etc. So we have to figure out how the policies work across the country, because state-wise there are differences on different ways of using a public charging infra, etc. So we are figuring those logistics in the meanwhile. But rest be assured, in the next 6 to 8 months, you'll see a lot of a lot of loop network coming up across India, and we will
Sure.
make sure before we deliver in the city, we install the chargers.
Sure. And so has a unique problem that I'll say two-wheelers in Indian two electric vehicle two-wheelers in India face is the standardization of chargers. So if we
Yeah.
see the four-wheeler industry, be it Tata, be it Kia, be it Hyundai, MG, Merck, all of them have converged to a Type 2 and a CCS charging network. However, in two-wheeler, it's quite scattered. So, could you throw some light? Like, is Simple One coming with yet another proprietary protocol, or your philosophy is to bring some kind of standardization and maybe it would be compatible with other charging providers' network?
See, there are two ways to look at it. A lot of companies think solving charging infra is done, but actually the fact is, how do you manage a scooter and a charger, right? Because a lot of firmware, a lot of balancing goes into how do you charge a scooter, because your system needs to be intelligent enough to understand how do you charge yourself, because too much can be too bad and too slow can be too bad either, right? In the experience point of view. So the government definitely tells about hyphen six, and that's where we are also moving towards. But having said that, currently we are looking at what government has standardized in a way for two-wheelers. They have not really mandated it as yet, but that is definitely in the policies which is reflected. And it's a public information, so hyphen six is what the government is speaking for, and we are moving with that. But while we also have a solution for our own, proprietary charges, but that depends on how we try and deploy it later on. Currently, we're moving with -6 because the government is pushing that, and we also believe standardization has to be the key because eventually that is where we can help the ecosystem grow. And having a proprietary charger blocks you from uh, easing out charging infra operations as well. Apart from that, our charging infra is also specific. So if you're a simple consumer, you can definitely expect a better charging rate in the system. But whereas if you are a normal non-simple one in a vehicle, then there'll be slow charging or different various aspects that you will adapt to the current charging infra. So that's how we are looking at this currently.
Sure. So, Suhas, if I summarize it, and please correct me. So, you would be following the government standard, though you will have your own proprietary network, and your loop network, though would give some kind of benefits or would be more integrated for simple one in terms of fast charging and other thing. But the network would be open for other EV owners from other brands to also charge on your network. Is
Yes,
that understanding correct?
yes, absolutely. If they follow the current government prescription that has been given, it's not mandated, but it is definitely out there for people to adopt.
Sure. Uh, so let's go back to the deliveries and your production readiness. We understand that you have received a funding of over 20 million USD recently.
Yeah.
Any thoughts like where would these 20 million USD be invested? Would it go for research and development, for development of future production, or enhancing of the production capacity in your current Hosur plant?
So around 70 to 80% of those funds are committed towards expansion of the current facility, because right now we have around 25,000 per month capacity installed. So we want to expand that, approx that, and we have a capacity to increase it to much more than that. So our aim and our agenda for next 3 quarters to 4 quarters will be just scale and focus on simple ones, deliveries towards, I mean, towards a lot of consumers across the country. And rest of it, we definitely have an R&D base, but we have invested enough already. But that doesn't mean that we will not continue to do it. We will, still we are still raising, so we will commit much of, I mean, some portion of it towards better R&D infra, etc. But we have a very strong R&D team, so we are good to go on that front. So our focus for next 3 quarters to 4 quarters will be scale.
Sure. And assuming that the simple one hits the road soon, which definitely we understand is on track,
Couple of weeks.
and next 2 or 3 quarters would be to scale. But would the rest of the year, how does it look like? Do we expect a simple 2 or maybe a simple 1 Pro or maybe another bike or a car model soon?
So we honestly speaking, we are a startup, but again, we are a bit of traditional. Also, we want to go step by step because we believe automobiles are much important part of individual's life, and that experience has to be optimum and the best. We don't want to be a fly-by-night operator. End of the day, and that has been happening in the industry nevertheless. So we just want to be very sure of what we do. Definitely, we are working on a couple of models. We have we are at a certificate stage for them as well. I hope that we launch them this year. But yeah, definitely there are two models that we have projected in scooter market. Bike is under consideration currently because we still haven't figured out the why. Right, we need a very strong why of doing it. But our project teams is working on the viability, doing the market research, and talking to consumers backend. So that's where we are looking at. Four-wheelers definitely on the card because we are automobile company, and I personally strongly believe that EVs are commuter solutions, and scooters and cars fall on the top of the chain, and then rest of the types of automobiles follow. So I think we need to really solve these two issues because they're the most used vehicles in urban commutes. I think that is our primary focus. And yep, I think in a couple of months you would listen to what we are doing on the four-wheeler aspects also. So currently we are developing a good powertrain for that.
Wow. So if I summarize correctly, and please correct me, Apart from Simple One, there are two more products expected soon, which
Yeah.
are at advanced stages.
Yeah.
But a bike and a car is maybe at a prototype, or maybe you are just trying to define your market, but definitely at back of your radar.
Yeah, so we are if you look at Simple is a vertically integrated company, right? We develop everything in house. So we need to develop the basics of it. Fundamentally, have to be very convincing for us. Otherwise, building a body and getting steering to it doesn't make sense. Exactly. So EV has to grow through fundamentals, and we are very strongly believing. We're very strongly committed towards that, and we believe in R&D too much. And I think that is also part of our delays, because there are things we could have shipped the scooters 1 year back, but we are very conservative about the fact that what we want the end consumer to have, right? So that has held us back. I think in a couple of weeks, a lot of people will understand how the safety is understood, how they have been addressed through simple energy's point of view. While the government is taking a lot of steps on addressing safety norms, but we want to go a step ahead. And I think during our, whenever a couple of weeks when we go out and showcase what we have done, I think the industry will be really proud of Simple Energy and what we have achieved, and the consumers will definitely be delighted of the product that has come through.
Sure. Uh, so, Suhas, we have a big and eagerly waiting community with a lot of questions. We'll try to address and take a few of them in this podcast. So, we
Absolutely.
have Anubhav, who wants to know the battery chemistry of Simple One, A, and then B, your sales strategy. Would it be like 100% online sale, 100% dealership model, or somewhere in middle that and also for the service?
So it's definitely not 100% online, offline. It's a mix of both, because a lot of people don't want to go to a store and buy it. So you can just book it online or purchase, complete the payment window online. So your nearest dealer will come and deliver it to you, or you can go to your nearest dealer and pick it up. So that's our model that we're working on. And service networks are integrated through online and offline. So every dealer will have a service point, and also we are creating a much better experience on the service side, which will reveal on our in next couple of weeks, right? So we have a unique positioning on that front, because we understand servicing and availability of spares are one of the key issues of today's automobile industry, and the cost towards that has to be clearly mapped and spoken about. So that experience also matters to us, and we have tried to work on that as effectively as we can, the way we did for our products as well. So yeah, consumers will definitely be delighted with those experience, and we'll always look at the feedbacks that come after the service is done of the scooter and try and implement and improve those.
Sure. And any revelation of the battery chemistry? Is it a NMC cell? Is it a LFP? Is it a air cooled, liquid cooled, or anything?
So they are naturally cooled, so we don't use any forced cooling on that. And we are, everyone uses an NMC chemistry today. LFPs are not really uh, that friendly to a performance-oriented scooter, which want to be light. They're a good chemistry to work with, but Simple doesn't come with that.
Sure. Nilesh from Goa wants to understand, is the SIM card in Simple One 4G or 5G? And he also wants to understand what all data would be sent to the servers from the privacy concerns. Would the user locations and other things also shared? And if yes, then what kind of security of this data would be ensured at your end?
So it's 4G enabled, of course. So the data we track is not a personal data or locations, etc. While you can also switch to incognito mode on the scooter, where you can just switch it off and not share anything with us. We just track the safety parameters of the system and how the system is behaving over the period of time, so that we can come up with better updates, because our scooters are OTA enabled. So you'll frequently receive the updates through the lifetime of the scooter. So it's a smart enabled scooter. So that way we want to understand how the scooter behaves, and in certain curves, etc. Curves in a sense, performance curves, and your optimization of the utilization of the scooter itself, right? So all these parameters will be tracking, but not your personal data. So rest be assured that we don't have those data on us, and those data that we track, which are essential for engineering aspects, are not related to a consumer. And for them to be safe, we have our own cloud security, cloud network that is secured enough in multiple ways. And yeah, that's how we are going. But you can always switch to incognito mode if you really want to be safeguarded on all fronts.
Sure, this would be very helpful for the privacy freaks. Go to incognito mode, and your data remains locally. Your data would not go to the simple one servers.
I mean,
Deepak,
but
yeah, sure,
that's saying that incognito mode is so people who really wanna be private about things. But
sure.
Simple Edge doesn't track any customer data because it doesn't really help us on anything because that's personal data and we respect and we want to keep that boundaries very clear. But to improve the scooters, we just look at how it performs so that we can improve your experience itself.
Sure. Uh, Deepak and many others who trusted your brand and who have already done a pre-booking have a small question that the product was announced in 2021 at an expected price of around 1.1 lakh Indian rupees. Is Simple One going to commit to the initial price, or do we expect a revision of the price? And in case of revision, what would be the quantum of increase that they can expect?
So as you know, the world has gone through a couple of changes. Supply chain has definitely inflated on multiple occasions. I mean, there will be some changes, but I can't really comment on those, saying that what exactly is the quantum, etc. Because a couple of weeks will have those there while we are before delivery itself. So that's how the industry is functioning too. So yeah, there is a kind of revision that will come in. Uh, Not, I don't know if that quantum can be figured currently. So yeah, that's I would say.
Okay. So, slight bad news for people who have pre-booked. Probably your pocket would be a bit more lighter to have this wonderful product, but how by how much? We'll have to wait for the final pricings to be revealed. So, as moving to the next question, uh, we have a user Nilesh who booked Simple One over an year ago. He has been anxiously trying to reach Simple One through multiple channels, and he claims that he's not getting a proper response or a communication. So, just as a feedback, or just wanted to take your views, how would these concerns be addressed specifically in terms of proactive and effective communications to your customers?
First of all, thank you for all the consumers who've been patient enough. Have booked our scooters, showered us with a lot of love. We are working on a very strong consumer communication and a community as well. Yes, we understand. Certain occasions we have not been able to respond on time because we have a lot of inquiries that come in every day. Our CRM team has been working hard to answer all the queries possible, and we look to improve those, deploy much more better ways of communications towards our consumers, and we'll come up with effective solutions on those front. And also on the regular updates, I think you'll see a lot of updates coming in, and I think we are good to go from now.
Sure. So has just out of way. Usually, one channel or the other channel are better. So, effectively, do you want users to reach out via the app, via Twitter, or email? Any preference that you feel would be beneficial for our community to reach out, or for you, all the channels are equal and these are some one-off incidents and would be taken care of from the next time?
Yeah, this is one of the incidents because we answer most of the questions through our email, Twitter, etc. But if someone is not able to get through our consumer network as a customer team, then you can always reach out to me on Twitter. I'm always there. I'm listening. I'm hearing. I'm forwarding those messages to my team so that we can serve you well. And rest be assured that we are working on those systems and all the channels of communication will be up effective. And we have a very strong consumer team that has been coming up.
Sure. We have another user, Chandan Shah from Ahmedabad. He wants to know the level of localization in Simple One. Specifically, he's more interested like what all components are imported and what all components are made in India.
So cell unfortunately is the only component that has been imported because we don't have a very strong cell manufacturing unit in India. We don't have it practically. So that is where it forces the automobile companies in India to go towards different countries to source them. If you talk on the component level, I think that's one of it. So we can say 99% because it's one component. So there are multiple in that in the ratio. So it's 90 plus. You can just fairly on the bomb level or on the composition level, the battery packs takes the most of it. So that's 40% of the battery pack. So yeah, so we are effectively 90% localized if you look at the component level. So we are fairly better in most aspects except for cell. And I hope in the future we localize that as well. And we're 100% localized, and we then we then export to other countries.
Sure. So, Chandan, right from BMS to charger to body and everything, apart from the main thing, cell is localized. And hopefully, with the government's PLI scheme coming in, we'll probably see more cell manufacturing capability in India. And hopefully, Suhas, in that time, we'll expect even those would be locally sourced.
Yep.
Moving to the next question, this is from Amit Jan from Jaipur. Uh, he wants to know that the test drive slots on your websites are closed.
Yep.
And of course, he's from Jaipur, not from Bangalore. So, any expectations of A, when the slots would be open on your websites, and B, as a Jaipur, or I'll say, any plans of how do you plan to take to the rest of India?
So we did phase one of our test rides across India, 13 cities we traveled. Uh, we wanted to understand how the consumers are liking the product. I think it was amazing response, and we were very overwhelmed with that. Phase two, or say the regular updates, so regular slots for our test rides will begin Q2 this year. That's from next month probably. And that's where we are looking to tap around 20 cities to go with, and then expand slowly on those front and make it available to as many cities as possible going forward. So very soon, just keep your eye on the social media handles of ours and the website itself. So you'll see the notification coming anytime soon now.
Oh, wow. Another question. We don't know the name of the user because he is going by his just initials. He want to understand that for the first 1,000 deliveries that have been promised for Bangalore, would the product be shipped in totality, or would it have some missing parts or features which would probably later added on as a software update or otherwise?
No, so it'll be totality. We really want to be very sure of those aspects because those are part of experience of a consumer. And apart from that, regular updates will definitely flow in for the scooter.
Sure. So, has probably the last question for the day, and by coming on our platform, you have already half answered that question, but still, I'll ask this. Do we expect some live sessions, customer physical meetups, and visits to your house or factory, just to ensure that customers can see what's going behind, and they have trust in the brand, and also it would play a good feedback loop?
Yep. So currently we are establishing our community team. So we will be opening our doors to talking to consumers on open houses, taking on a factory tour with experts from the industry, consumers from our current pool, and also some experts from the media side of it as well. And we'll invite everyone to look at what we do, how we do it, what exactly goes into building a simple one. And apart from that, the regular affair of having consumer interactions will keep on going, and we will plan community events frequently from now on.
Sure. I'm sure Plugin India and our viewers would be very interested to be part of these. We'll look forward for
You're
those
definitely
invites and alerts.
you're definitely
And I'm
coming.
sure our viewers would have got some significant insights on the product, including expected timelines. Thanks to us for all your time. We hope to see Simple One in numbers on road soon and wishing you a lot of success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amit. Thank you so much.